Hi everyone, this is Apiary front-end development project. We're very excited to show our final product to you today. We have been working it for the past 10 weeks and we're very excited to share it with you guys today. So table of content for today would be, first of all, meet our team. Then we'll move to overview, design process, tools and stack, development, and show our live demo for the final product. And then we'll move to some acknowledgements and we'll have some time for questions at the end. So meet our team. We have Anthony and Christy as our leaders for this project. Anthony also served as our stakeholder. And then we have our team members, Dia, Manaf, myself, Shavit, Carlos, and Sabdil. So what exactly is Apiary? Apiary is a front-end application designed to manage Blocklist and Safelist within Duke's cybersecurity system. It fills an important gap in the university's security infrastructure. Blocklists are lists of domain or IP addresses that are denied access due to security risk, while safe lists are trusted entries allowed through security filters. Apiary will serve as an automatic tool to manage these entries more simply. The problem we addressed during this project was the existing backend system lacked an intuitive user-facing interface, which made it so difficult for staff to perform efficient security operation. Our project goal was to design a functional and user-friendly AI for Apiary. We prioritize usability by incorporating feedback from our stakeholder, Anthony, and conducting extensive testing. Looking ahead, the long-term vision for Apiary is to prepare for open source release. This will allow to other institutions and universities to adopt the platform and improve their cybersecurity workflows. Ultimately, Apiary brings clarity, control, and accessibility to complex security processes, making it easier for everyone to use. So how exactly we started? Back in week 1, we started thinking about what Apiary would look like. This slide is one of our early brainstorming session for Apiary. It's kind of messy, I know, but you guys gonna get it once we're gonna get through it. We started by mapping out our main pages we thought the tool should include, like the dashboard, the blocklist and Safelist pages, the login pages, profile pages, and more. We also sketched how user would navigate between these sections and what features would be most helpful to have, such as system stats, recent activities, and the ability to add, delete, or edit entries, as well as how we're going to handle the APIs. Through this process, we asked ourselves important questions. How do we make it easy to use? What's the best way to organize the information? How can we make the security actions quick and clear? How accessible can it be? The brainstorm helped us to turn rough ideas into a real plan for designing the Apiary interface. And now I'm going to pass it to Carlos, who's going to share with you guys our design process.
Yes, thank you, Shavit. So then it was time to, take our sketches from the whiteboard and start bringing them to life. Given the 10-week time frame, we chose to take a lean UX approach, and basically we were constantly reiterating low fidelity prototypes in Figma, something to just prioritize the layout and structure and overall polish the visuals for development. In our first design, the color scheme we used was Duke's official color palette. Since this tool was built in collaboration with Duke OIT, we kind of felt it made sense to start there. But we also intentionally kept the design basic and flexible, and we wanted to keep in mind our long-term goal of open sourcing the tool for other universities and organizations. Another thing was the inclusion of the dashboard. One of the major points of discussion within our team was whether or not to include a dashboard at all. Ultimately, we did choose to keep it because we felt it added value for users who log in just to check on system activity and recent changes. It also provides a quick access and at-a-glance view that speeds up workflows as well. Lastly, our layout followed a left to right structure, which we felt best supported readability. Since users are generally trained to scan information from left to right, we felt the structure naturally supported faster comprehension. As we did review the prototype, this first prototype with our stakeholders, several concerns came up. First, our stakeholders expressed a strong preference for a darker color scheme, both for aesthetics and usability. We also ran into accessibility issues, especially in the contrast of the top menu bar with the gray on the white. Also, some of the language we used, like our terminology, it didn't fully reflect Apiary's technical scope and went way deeper than just block lists and safe lists. And finally, the last concern was the branding lacked identity, especially since Apiary is a place where beehives are kept. Our stakeholders wanted that concept to be better reflected in the overall visual identity and icons of our design. So these critiques helped set the stage for our next iteration. So here is our final prototype. We addressed those concerns directly and made key improvements to prepare the system for full development. We shifted to a dark color scheme, which aligned with the stakeholders' preferences and also solved our earlier accessibility concerns. We were more intentional about the contrast using blue and gold now, especially in the navigation to improve readability for all users. Visually, we also moved toward a stronger branded identity, one that referenced the meaning of Apiary and gave the system a more recognizable and memorable look. So as you can see in the new logo on the bottom right, we warped the A into fit the shape of the shield. We added honeycombs within the shield, and there's also now a bee flying through the letters of Apiary. We also restructured the navigation system as well, so it's no longer at the top. The new layout created a much clearer hierarchy to the left between the pages and made it easier to scale as features grow in the future. We also did refine the dashboard, although it does maintain its core functionality. We felt that users can still get a quick overview of the system activity, but we feel that this one is more polished and organized. And finally, one thing we deliberately preserved was our left to right layout. It kind of continued to serve our goals for clarity and user comprehension, so we saw no need to change that. With all these changes, it was time to move into development, and I will now pass it to Subdeel to talk about our tools and stack.
So one of the main things that we had to address as we were getting more into the developmental stages of this project was the fact that many of us weren't too experienced with front-end development, let alone things like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So along with learning these fundamentals, we wanted to utilize a tech stack that was both modern and also had some of the features that we would need for this project. So for example, built-in authentication and page routing, which is something that React itself does not provide. We did obviously consider React as it is also the main framework that has Next.js, which, as you'll hear some folk talk about, is very robust in its core functionality. So you'd be surprised React itself or vanilla React does not have a native page routing system. This just means that any multi-page web app that you want to build, it is not inherently supported by React just because, I don't know, I guess Facebook didn't want to make that for React. So we used Next.js for our main library to build our front end. And on top of that, we utilized NextAuth, which is the library that Next.js also has, or at least is also supported by Next.js. In terms of styling, it came down to mostly using Tailwind and some normal CSS, and for that we opted to use Post CSS. So when it came to compiling, we were able to use both normal and Tailwind CSS. I won't get too much in the back end, but we did use Rust and Postgres. Rust being our primary backend language, and Postgres being our main database management system. And now I will be passing on to Manaf, who will get into more details about our developmental stages.
Thank you, Sabdeel. So once we decided on our stack, we started building out the core components and pages using the Figma designs. Then we added some mock data to make sure the layout looked good and everything flowed the way we expected. Afterwards, we removed the mock data and connected the API endpoints to begin testing with the real functionality. So we started with the dashboard, which acts as the main overview page. It gives users a quick snapshot of how many entries are on each page and helps them navigate the system easily. Next was the actions page. This is where users can actually make changes, like adding or removing entries from the block list or the safe list. We wanted this to be really straightforward, so we used clear forms and instant feedback to help prevent mistakes. The collections page. Collections are dynamic filtering rules that automatically organize security actions based on criteria like TLP, confidence, sources, and tag. Think of them as smart folders that categorize your threat intelligence. Sources. Sources displays all intelligence providers that have submitted actions to the system along with the total number of entries that they have provided. The main function of the outputs page is that we create URLs and link them to specific collections. So we can feed intelligence data to external entities. Each output generates a unique public URL that automatically serves the filtered actions from the chosen collection. The inputs page is the opposite of the outputs page. It allows us to create a secure URL that allow external security tools to automatically submit actions to our system. Each input has an admin-controlled override settings for confidence and TLP levels to ensure data quality. And now I will pass it to my teammate Dia for the live demo.
Now that you have seen the pages explained, I will walk you through a quick live demo to show how everything works together. So I will start with the action page. This is where we can add an action for the specific IP, domain, or URL. So let's say I want to block a domain. So I will choose the domain as the type. Enter the value here. Let's say test.com. Then type the source there where the observable came from. So I will type my name. Then choose the TLB, which is a straightforward way to show when and how sensitive information can be shared. And then I select how much confidence do I have in this entry. Then I create the action. So as you can see, now the action so show in the list here with all the information. So next I'll move to the collection page. Here we can group multiple actions together. For example, actions for specific department or system. So I will create a new collection and add the action I just created into it. So I select the source. So as you can see, we found the action and the comment and click create. So has been created the collection. This makes it easy to manage related actions as a single unit. On the output page, we generate a link for the collection. These links allow external entities to access or fetch the entire group or action. So I will generate the output for the collection I just create and choose the collection. And yes, so so that's how the system works end to end. Finally, we would like to thank our project leaders, Anthony and Christy, our program leaders, Jen and Cherry, our coordinators, Karen and Rodi, as well as Isabel from ITSO and Bendy. We really appreciate it. And any question?